We're talking about the Lagos economy. It is a commercial nerve center of the nation. It is a commercial hub. Everybody comes here to do business. Who is who in business is always definitely here. And who better to talk about the state of the Lagos economy than the #1 citizen himself? I'm talking about His Excellency Governor Babatunde Fashola, SAN. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good morning.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you coming to the studio to talk about latest developments in the state's economy. But let's start with you giving us your assessment of how the state's economy has fared in the last couple of months, at least for this year. Has it been in tandem with the expectations of the executive?
Well, it's certainly met our expectations. There have been some unexpected challenges, and we have always proceeded by planning for the worst and hoping for the best. But by the way, I think even in your introduction, this is where everybody comes, and when you look at the vehicular traffic, the migration from within and from across the continent, really, there must be something happening here. Otherwise, people wouldn't be coming here. They would probably be leaving. So, and if you measure the economy, therefore, by the opportunities that it offers,
Is where we
I mentioned those areas for specific reasons. Those estates were built by Lagos State government. Don't forget, the whole distribution area of Ikeja has been sold. The whole distribution area of Lagos has been sold. Now, you know what? We can sit down and twiddle our thumb and wait for anything to happen and when it will happen. Okay? Now, but the point is, where is the easiest way to make an impact? You see, people have lived on promises and promises, and my sense of management is that demonstrate that it is possible, and then you can retail down. When we started the public lighting process, we started on Aolo Road in Ikoyi, but we are now in Lawansin, we are in Itire, we are in Ipaja, we are in Shomolu, we are in Bariga. But we have to start somewhere first to demonstrate that this thing is possible. And another reason for that is that all of the distribution assets in those estates I mentioned were provided by Lagos State government. The transformers, the wiring, the poles and everything. And I said, look, let's see what deal we can work out here. You know, the story becomes more credible if you begin to hear at least from one part of Lagos that our power doesn't go again. For me, that is a serious sense of management that it is beginning to happen. It will get to our turn.
So let me take you back to something you mentioned. You said you visited the Apapa rails. The Lagos State government has been working on a light rail from Maltu to Badagry, passing through the National Theatre. How far gone is this project? Because we know that the state has had to take bonds, do bond tranches and the rest of it to fund this project. And if charity begins at home, they say, you want to set your house right before you begin to go outside to go and start pointing out somebody else who hasn't cleaned his own backyard. Well, so we have that project still pending.
Well, that's quite perhaps not the exact way to measure it. That charity has started at home because Lagos State is the one that bears the burden of the lack of a national railway. About 90% or close to it of the cargo, rice, vegetable oil, cement, iron rod, and all of the imports that come into Nigeria pass through our roads. We pay a very, very heavy toll in terms of the life expectancy of our roads because of that problem. And the earlier it is solved, the earlier we will breathe a sigh of relief. Roads that should last 25 years are lasting less than that. That is one. Back to the light rail. The light rail is exactly not of the same calibration and capacity or purpose for an industrial and national railway to move heavy cargo. That's not what the light rail is designed for. It's for intracity transport within the city as a faster, safer, and more urbane way to move people. Where are we? We have finished 4 stations. Mile 2 station is finished. Alaba station is finished. Orile station is finished. and Costain Station is finished. So 4 stations are finished, and that's a track of about 7 kilometers, all done and dusted. We are now crossing from Costain to Marina, which is another 5-point-something kilometers, and we should finish that by early next year, hopefully before the end of Q1. And that will give us 12 kilometers of track line ready to run. So at some point next year, some early testing and hopefully some early service may start, because rails are built in sections. But there's still the very, very big problem, power. To power, we know what trains we want to use now. Where is the energy coming from? So this is really the determinant, and until we get it right, we're not going anywhere. Now, we've debated and we've shut down the idea of using diesel engines because it's not environmentally friendly. It's inconsistent with everything we have advocated about protection of the environment. So power is the real deal. And these are the basis for, so we're talking to a few people, we're trying to say, and these are some of the issues we're trying to say, look, how can we get this thing up and running? Yes, we know it's now in private hands, but government at the municipal level can still participate with you and catalyze these things. And why can we do that? We've done the Akute power plant to supply power to our waterworks, the Jew waterworks and the Adin waterworks. Those are the only waterworks that I know in this country now that have their own independent power. We've done the Lagos Island Power Plant, which services the State House, the Island Maternity General Hospital, Zone 2 Police Command, Lion Building, City Hall, the e-learning center, and about 11 schools, and the Dolphin Waterworks. We've done the Alausa Power Plant. We're finishing the Ikeja Power Plant. We're in pre-commissioning testing now, and hopefully the Lekki Power Plant should finish before the end of this year to add to our capacity to supply water to Lekki. But that's all we can do unless the discos open the door and say, let's create some partnership here so that we can take power to the homes.
Your Excellency, let's quickly take a break so you can catch your breath because you've been doing most of the talking. But when we come back, we're going to look at how Lagos State, being the largest commercial city, is going to consolidate this position because, like it or not, a lot of people take dressing from Lagos State. So if you're able to go ahead and do projects in your state and successfully implement them, then it can be replicated in the other states. And if this is replicated, of course, we know what the domino effect usually can do. We can see the kind of growth that will come up. But hold on to that thought. And we'll come back to continue our conversation. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. We're coming to you live from our studio in Lagos. I've been having a conversation with His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, SAN, and we've been looking at the Lagos State economy, some of the issues that have come up. Of course, we'll come back and continue this conversation. Please stay with me.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Well, I guess it's one of those mornings, the fastest finger, they always say. But you're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. We're coming to you live from our studio here in Lagos, and we've been looking at the state of the Lagos economy. It's a commercial nerve center of the nation, and I've been having this conversation with the #1 citizen of the state, Governor Babatunde Fashola, SAN. He's still here with me in the studio. Thank you so much for sticking with me, sir.
Thank you for having
So
me.
let's talk about the efforts of the Lagos State government to ensure that they consolidate the position that they have at the moment of being the largest economy.
Well, consolidation requires first that you make what you have achieved an attitude rather than an accident, and that requires you to continue to build people, to continue to reinforce good habits and drop not so salutary habits. And that's one of the things we did, excuse me, at our last retreat. And it's part of my getting to go retreats. And I think I have about 268 days left to get out. So, but that's it really. And making sure now that institutions can take responsibility. So people don't need to have my telephone number in order to fix a road anymore. There's an agency, the Public Works Corporation, that does that. People don't need to call the governor